Good afternoon, everybody. This is Underground Noise Podcast. I'm Alex, the man behind Underground Noise. I'm here with Mr. Jeremy Turner, who used to play in the band Origin, and he's also in the band Unmerciful. And how you doing today, Jeremy?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
I feel great. Thanks for asking. I was going to ask you, who are some of your musical influences?
There's quite a bit actually. Person that got me started wanting to play guitar was Randy Rhoads. First time I heard the Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads tribute album. I mean, that's all it took. I went out. My first guitar was a Vantage Flying V, a Gibson knockoff, and I had that guitar for years and learned a lot of albums on that guitar. Other than that, I mean, everyone from Terrence Hobbs, Doug Cerrito, Trevor Perez, pretty much any of the earlier death metal guitar players influenced me quite a bit. Bob Vigna from Immolation, huge influence. Even people like Jeff Loomis. I mean, obviously I'm not a big soloist, but his playing definitely, maybe not so much influence, but definitely inspires, because that's a guitar player that I'm definitely impressed by. I mean, for lack of better words.
Jeff Loomis. If people don't know who Jeff Loomis is is from the band Nevermore. Yeah, Nevermore is a really good band.
Conquering Dystopia, and now he's actually in Arch Enemy. So.
Oh, he's in Arch Enemy now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've been out of the loop for a little while, so forgive me for that.
All right, I've been out of the loop on a lot of things too. Happens.
It does. I was going to ask you, are there any countries in the world that you haven't seen that you've always wanted to tour?
As far as countries wanting to tour, yes. Japan, India, Indonesia, even some of the European countries I never got a chance to go to. France, Spain, Italy. A lot of Italian bands are completely badass. I'd love to share a stage with some of those bands from Italy. And then countries that I have been to, I'd really love to go back to. So yeah, there's a long list of countries I'd like to go to.
Yeah, I've been over in Europe, but I've traveled out of state before with the music that I write. But
nice.
During this pandemic, it's been putting on a hold on all of us. How have you been feeling during the pandemic?
We're all right. I mean, I've been pretty lucky as far as my home life. I got to keep working through the whole thing. For what I do, I was able to stay away from people and pretty much be on my own. My wife was able to work from home, and our kid actually does better online school than he did in-person school. So we kind of lucked out with everything. As far as the band, we've just been trying to hunker down, wait till everything opens back up, just like every other band. We released our album last year. Obviously never got to support that in any way, shape, or form. I'm still waiting to do that.
I was going to ask you, what is the lyrical content about with the band, not the band, I'm sorry, with the album Wrath Encompassed? I haven't heard it yet.
Wrath Encompassed pretty much follows what we've always done. Really violent, kind of gory in some spots. There's a song about cremating somebody while they're alive. There's a song about getting revenge on somebody that's killed your whole family. And then there's other apocalyptic songs. I mean, just various things.
Cool. Have you ever had any embarrassing moments while you're on stage?
Besides forgetting lyrics or breaking a string, not really so much. I remember my first show with Cannibal in Mexico. I could not remember the riff that was coming next in the song until it actually got to the point for me to change into that riff. So that was extremely nerve-wracking. But as far as extremely embarrassing, not really.
Okay, that's cool. Are there any bands that you've always wanted to tour with?
Yeah, I have not personally been able to tour with, or gotten the opportunity to tour with, I should say, Immolation, Suffocation, a bunch of other bands. Really, love to tour to Cannibal again. Love to tour with Dying Fetus again. Love to open up a tour with Black Dahlia Murder. I mean, just different various bands. Actually going to be able to see Skeletal Remains in July in South Dakota, so I'm looking forward to that.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, there's a Death Fest in South Dakota in July that we're actually playing. We actually got to be able to book that show, so that should be a very good time.
Are there any bands that you don't like?
Bands that I don't like, bands that I'm not into. Yeah, I can't really get into the complete slam bands. Bands along those veins. Deathcore, obviously, I'm not real big into. Just not my thing.
It's totally understandable.
Obviously, the top 40 shit. Five Finger cover song. Don't like that band. Whatever.
It's all good though. I only like one Five Finger Death Punch song. That would be "Lift Me Up."
Okay.
Rob Halford from Priest.
Yeah.
That song there is actually pretty decent.
That's because Rob's in it.
Yeah, I would say so too.
The only reason,
bro. That's the only reason.
it's the only reason I think it would be.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely can belt out a nice long note.
Right.
Sometimes I think Bruce Dickinson can hold the note longer, but for some reason, hit those higher notes.
I really haven't compared them to both live. I have not seen Judas Priest live. One of the bands I would have loved to have seen live, or would love to see live in the future. But seeing Iron Maiden live was incredible. They're a great live band.
What tour did you see them on? I saw them on the Final Frontier tour back in 2010.
I can't remember the name of the tour, but I saw them with Megadeth. It's probably 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, in Kansas City. It was a great show.
My big brother took us down to Camden, New Jersey, over at the PNC Bank Arts Center. They were playing Dream Theater that day. And it just so happened that my brother went to go get a beer, me a water, and a pretzel, and there's these guys about maybe 3 feet away from me smoking a blunt, and it was the most retarded looking blunt that I've ever seen in my life. I looked at him like, "Hey guys, that smells pretty good. Like, do you want some of this?" I'm like, "Sure." So I took a couple of his. My brother comes back and I'm grinning at him. He's like, "What are you smiling about?" I said, "I just got stoned without your ass."
Nice.
So, other than that, Jeremy, I was wondering, what's next for Unmerciful? Are you guys planning to do some shows soon?
We are pretty much waiting for everything to open up, along with every other band. Like I said, wanting to get on tours with different bands. We do have that show in July. So far, that is the only show that we do have booked this year so far. But we are working on getting on other shows. Other than that, we've actually started writing new material and still practicing the songs that are on Wrath, making sure that they stay tight for when we do actually get to play live again.
That sounds good. How did you know that you wanted to be a musician?
Pretty much the same answer with Randy Rhoads, Ozzy Osbourne. Like I said, as soon as I heard that album, heard that guitar playing, that's all it took. I actually did play piano from like 7 to 9. Didn't stick with it. From a music reading standpoint, I wish I would have. But is what it is now. That Randy Rhoads album changed me. That was it.
Sounds good. What type of gear do you use to make your sound?
For guitar, I use I play BC Rich. I've got a couple V's. I got the Pat O'Brien V, and I got an NJ Deluxe V. I've got the EMG 81 and the NJV, and I've got a Fishman Fluence and the Pat O'Brien V. As far as amp, I've got a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier and Marshall 1960 VB cabinet, 412. Then for my bass, I've got the Spectre Alex Webster version. I mean, you can see the kind of the Cannibal Worship there. And then for bass amp, I've got SWR head and cabinet, and then Dark Glass B7K Ultra pedal.
I was also going to ask you, I know you're not with Origin anymore. What happened with that?
First time I actually quit the band in 2002. It seemed like I wasn't really getting along with any of the guys in the band. Like, we had different views on how things should go. And I figured it would be better if I left. It'd be better for them. It'd be better for me. So I did the Nile tour with them, with Hate Eternal and Arch Enemy. And then I bowed out. Then in, I think it was 2007, started talking to him again, and I was able to write for Antithesis. But I never, for what I was doing for my job, I was never able to tour. And so, I mean, understandably, they just kind of let me go because I was never able to do shows or anything at that point.
Which album by Origin would you consider your favorite?
And there's great songs on all of them. I like a lot of the songs off Echoes of Decimation. My favorite song, or my favorite album that I was on, is Antithesis. But yeah, Echoes is just dark and relentless as far as I'm concerned. I really like Entity too.
I like the album Echoes of Decimation a lot. Reciprocal really moves me when I listen to it.
Nice.
It's like, okay, I got this crazy energy. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to run around the house 25 times, or I'm going to headbang all day. It's sometimes hard to tell, because sometimes
Right.
This gives me this kind of energy, or this gives me that kind of energy,
Yeah.
Also, I was going to ask you, are there any Christian bands that you listen to?
Christian bands?
There are
Not
a few of them
knowingly,
out
no.
there.
Not knowingly.
Yeah, there's a few of them. There's a few of them out there, like Living Sacrifice. They've been around for like 30 years. I don't know if
Yeah, I have listened to them before. I don't own any albums from them, but I do remember listening to them a little bit. They were pretty cool.
Yeah, they've been around, like I said, for 30 years. They just released a documentary, and I was looking at it. I was like, wow, they actually play with Malevolent Creation.
Nice.
I was listening to it, and I heard that Malevolent was actually really nice to them.
Good.
It's like, well, there are some bands out there that some people like. Some people just don't like them because they are Christian. But at the same time, I look at it this way: you got to listen to whatever you feel is good for your ears. May not be good for someone else's.
Right.
Other than that, Jeremy, I can't really think of anything else to ask you. Do you have any other words for me? Like any last words?
Well, like I said, once everything opens up, we'll be looking to tour with whoever we can. We've already started putting feelers out for when everything does open up for bands that we do want to tour with. We do actually have a booking agent. She's working hard on getting us shows too. Other than that, we hope to be in a town near you soon. In the meantime, listen to Wrath whenever you can.
Will do. Thanks for your time today, Jeremy. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
You too.
Keep rocking.